Soccer has been in the news a bunch over the last month or so. The Women's Cup just ended with a dominating US victory, and FIFA, it's getting investigated left and right for corruption charges. Seriously, Qatar? And in what is possibly the smartest timing ever by a game company, Rocket League now hits the spotlight as soccer is still fresh in everyone's minds. What's the twist here though? We're playing in cars. Yes, just like that episode of Top Gear, but this time with nitro, flying, and pizzazz. Does the game take soccer to the next level in the video game world, or do some horrors exist under the hood, like those deep within Sepp Blatter's mind? The game is simple. It's soccer with cars, as I said before. There's a giant ball that each of the teams need to hit in any way they can into the opposing team's goal, and I do mean opposing. The game's simple nature takes a hold here, as the simple idea of put ball into goal becomes ever so complicated by the additions of the cars and the arenas themselves. There's a variety of game types here at the core, from a one-on-one competition to a 4v4 chaotic free-for-all. You've got a season mode, an online mode of course, and exhibition and training options. But I'm going to focus on the core gameplay here, the whole put ball into goal thing. You have a couple of major tools to help you in your goal, well, to score a goal, literally, at your disposal. First, in your car, you have your typical controls that you'd expect, with the ability to accelerate, brake, and do sharp turns. Your car does have a nitro boost as well, as you can use it to speed down the arena towards where you need to be by spending the boost that you've gained by driving over certain sections of the field. Most of the segments towards the middle of the field gain you small points of boosts, while the large glowing circles towards the corners of the field will fill up your boost entirely. You also have the ability to jump as well, and double jump if necessary. This can give you some necessary height in a bouncing ball situation, but does not come with the timing needed to use it properly. You'll have to figure that one out yourself. You also have two major tools at your disposal. The ability to flip your car forward at any time to gain not only a small boost of speed, but to cause a force on the ball to hopefully drive it towards the goal. Your positioning is key here, as how you hit the ball will determine the direction of travel, and it's the main tool in your arsenal, not only for attempting to score, but defending your goal as well. And this is where the core of the game lies, as you see cars flipping and jetting around in an attempt to move the ball the way they want. Now, you technically also have the ability to fly, but combining your jump and the boost, the situations you really need to do this are somewhat limited, at least in my experience so far. Good luck getting it to work the way you want in the first couple of hours, mostly because you need an understanding of the physics of the ball and the way it's moving in order to compensate for the ball's movement in order to hit it. Needless to say, you'll be cursing at yourself for the first several hours as you keep on repeatedly missing over and over and over and over. You get the idea. You'll quickly learn that the game rewards a couple of ideas at its core gameplay. First is your positioning in combination with your timing. You'll quickly learn that this game is not a destruction derby, and throwing your car around with reckless abandon, despite how fun that can be, won't get you the results you want. Putting your car in the right position to speed forward is key, and that does not mean being directly in the pack and waiting for the ball to fall down on your head. Here's the thing, you do a better job, at least in my opinion, of staying back and waiting and then speeding forward and hitting that ball. And then comes the concept of timing. Using your positioning, speeding forward, and understanding how Isaac Newton is going to ruin your attempt this time around is massively important. Understanding the way you are hitting the ball with your vehicle and the angle your car hits the ball, that's important to succeed here. You get the timing right, and you'll get something like this. Get it wrong, however, and you'll get something along the lines of this. But you see, that's the fun part in all this. The game is still fun, even if you don't have full control over your vehicle like you want it, and that's what's great about the design here. Newbie players, even if they are losing, can still have fun learning the game, getting involved, and letting luck sometimes allow a lucky bounce to give them the goal that'll make them feel like a champ, or sometimes they score on themselves. When I talk about simplicity in game design and how over-design can hurt a game, Rocket League is the prime example of how enough design around a simple concept can do so well to bring tons of players in. It's the kind of game that you can get a couple of friends and just have a nice party night. I think of Mario Kart 64's battle mode as a similar situation. Smart decisions were made all over the place to make an experience that encourages fun. You know, the whole fun thing in gaming, remember that? You see, this is where the key understanding of how the game was designed from the ground up comes into play, as every key decision that was made for a couple of core concepts in mind: the balance of teams, fun, and skill versus luck. Now let's take a look at the arena in particular, and notice the edges of the arena in question. Notice that unlike a typical indoor soccer field, the walls themselves are curved upward. This changes things in a variety of ways. First of all, it changes up the number of ways the ball can move when it hits the walls. Now, in most games with an arena on the outside, it acts as what you'd see in those old lessons of physics and light reflection, taking the same angle it came on the way in, and with it being a straight wall, the angle was predictable. But with the curved edges, this adds a huge difference, as it multiplies the number of possible angles and allows the ball to travel up it, which adds a level of unpredictability, and sometimes that players have to react to that unpredictability. It's hard to get the ball to do the same thing twice off these walls without complete control, which is probably something you won't have considering the whole other team breathing down your neck. And notice the positioning of the boost pads in particular. What was cleverly done here was the positioning of them and the amount that the boost pad gave. In particular, zooming down the arena can be much more effective in the middle with hitting these small yet significant boost pads, but doesn't give enough to allow for the reckless use of it. They are spaced out just enough to allow those who get a hold of the controls of the game enough of a boost to take advantage of them in terms of positioning, but not enough to cause an overwhelming advantage to that particular player. Again, that's the great thing about this game. It's all about the subtle advantages you can get. It has more competitive balance than some of the major sports can claim, that's for sure. It also helps that the visual elements of the game never work against the gameplay as well. In a game like this, where it has enough attention to be an esports-like experience, I could have seen the designers being over the top with the ball, effects, and the visuals. And while you have your customization of your car and small elements regarding that, it never detracts from the core gameplay itself. The different stadiums and color choices complement gameplay, and even though there's stadiums I definitely prefer, overall it does a bang-up job of supporting the gameplay in question. Once again, I have to give credit to the designers here. They could have gone a different way in terms of the visuals, they could have gone a different way in terms of the balance of gameplay, given it boosts for, certain wheels and certain cosmetics, but they didn't. They put gameplay first more than anything else, and it shows. And that's why this game is doing so well, and why it should be doing so well. But okay, I've talked about the upsides of this game immensely at this point. Are there any downsides to the game? Well, of course there are. I've basically been giving this game nothing but praise from the get-go here, but unfortunately there's a key element for several people that is going to be its undoing for the time being: the networking. Now look, it's got crossplay between the PS4 and PC, and that's great. And when I've been in games, the game's netcode has been great. Game has run smoothly, in fact, almost silky smooth. The problem? Let the game show you. Yeah, beyond the problems of the PlayStation Network that seem to be plaguing the service over the last several months, years, Rocket League also has several problems, with it indicating I was offline when I was clearly online, and not having servers available. Now note, the guys over at Psyonix are on the case, and are attempting to bring more servers online, but I can't sit here and say that it hasn't been frustrating to find a game online. The game has gotten a lot of attention, and it's for good reason, but if it's going to keep it going, it's gotta take care of this now. Now note, I've noticed an improvement over the last 2 days in particular, but who knows if it can scale with any more increased presence from the gaming community. Now, they did do beta periods, and I don't think they were ready for as many people being into the game that they were, but I will point out the fact that it was free on PlayStation Plus, which in the end is a very smart move for the viability of the game, but they probably should have taken into account on the necessary number of servers. And let's face it, the game is a lot more fun in multiplayer, mostly because of the AI. Not to say that there aren't stupid players online, of course there are. They're a multiplayer game. Now, don't get me wrong, the AI can also do some reasonable things and can be fun to play against at times as well, especially at the higher difficulties. And surprisingly, for people who don't know, I'm the kind of person who wants to play a lot with the AI in single player before I even put my hands into the multiplayer scene. And they did do an okay job of testing me in that area. But the flip side of that is the AI can do some incredibly silly things. Now note, to program AI in a game like this can be difficult, to give the idea of a human flaw. So was I expecting an old goal at times? Yeah, I was. It's gonna happen. It happens to the best of us. And even collisions when attempting to score with seemingly no one in front of me? Yeah, I was expecting that too. But no, what I'm talking about is when the AI literally pushes the ball from the opposing team's end of the arena towards your goal, and right in the middle in fact. That's more than just silly, it's idiotic. And sometimes I'm forgiving of some of the smaller things in games. This should have been avoided in terms of coding from the AI. You will curse the AI at times, mostly because of the fact that you've seemingly gotten better from it at times. Now look, it's not the worst AI I've seen, not by a long shot, but trust me when I say you will get frustrated with it, mostly because you've seen it was competent at one point. But overall, this game does what I believe it sets out to do, create a balanced and party-like game that is easy to pick up, hard to master, and yet allows for different skill levels to come together and enjoy themselves, even when they are losing. Now look, I'm a person who can get frustrated, especially in multiplayer experiences, but this one was the exact opposite. I enjoyed myself during that entire time, even when I was playing more seriously than some of the people around me. That's a sign of a game that at its core, it knows what it's doing, and that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. This game is definitely worth your time, especially if you like that sort of competitive multiplayer. The game's server problems and AI silliness doesn't take away from the strong design core of the game. And the fact that it's free on the PlayStation Plus and it's a cheaper game on Steam at the core, you can get hours of fun, means that you should really be looking to play this. And hell, watch it too. I can see this game picking up as an esport, I really do. Alright, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, I will leave the review comments in the comments below, and overall, I would love to hear your feedback. I tried something a little bit different in this review. I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts on it. Alright, this is Dragnix again signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and keep on gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left hand side as well. And if you missed my last video, take a look at the right hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.